I never imagined I'd be the one telling a story like this, but here I am, recounting a tale so absurd, it still feels surreal. Strap in, because this is a wild journey through arrogance, trespassing, and a dish best served cold with a side of dog drool. My name is Marcus Bell, 34 years old. 8 months ago, I moved into Oak Ridge Meadows, a typical suburban development with one of those HOA letters more complicated than federal tax law. I'm a critical care nurse, working nights at the city hospital from 7 p.m. to 7 a.m., 3 different nights a week. That lifestyle means I sleep during the day and mostly keep to myself. After years of grueling shifts and sacrificing social life, I finally saved enough to put a down payment on a modest 3-bedroom home with a detached two-car garage. It wasn't luxurious, but it was Mineth's first piece of property owned by anyone in my family. The garage was already converted into a cozy hangout by the previous owners. They installed a mini fridge, a dartboard, and even a small mounted TV. I planned to transform it into a personal gym and gaming den eventually, but between moving and my schedule, I hadn't gotten to it yet. I did install a keypad lock on the garage door, knowing that after brutal night shifts, fumbling with keys would be the last thing I'd want to do. For the first few months, life was quiet. I met a few neighborish young couple next door, Ethan and Zoe Brooks, and the elderly Mr. Samuel Carter across the street, who never missed a chance to wave when I headed to work. Then there was Gloria Weston, the HOA president. Our first meeting was memorable. One Saturday afternoon, as I was washing my car, a golf cart emblazoned with HOA patrol screeched to a halt in front of my driveway. A woman in her late 50s with platinum blonde hair teased sky high, and a hot pink velour tracksuit approached like a sheriff confronting an outlaw. "You must be the new owner," she announced, scrutinizing me from head to toe, her gaze lingering disapprovingly on my tattoos and my Jackson State University t-shirt. "Yes, ma'am. Marcus Bell," I said, offering my hand. She hesitated before barely touching it. "Gloria Weston, HOA president. Here, residents typically submit a car washing schedule for approval." I blinked. "A schedule for washing my car in my own driveway? Water conservation is a serious matter," she sniffed. "We maintain standards to uphold the community's image." She shoved a massive 3-ring binder into my hand. HOA bylaws for adding, "We don't usually have healthcare workers living here. Most of our residents are professionals." I simply smiled and said, "Good to bring some diversity to the neighborhood." As she rolled away, Ethan wandered over and muttered, "Ignore Queen Gloria. She's been terrorizing everyone since she bullied her way onto the board." I laughed, but little did I know Gloria's reign had only just begun. A month later, small oddities started cropping up in my garage. The mini fridge door ajar, dartboard crooked, unfamiliar bottle caps on the floor. I chalked it up to fatigue at first. 12-hour night shifts wreak havoc on memory. Then one morning, I found a wine glass under the couch. I didn't even drink wine. Mentioning it to Ethan one afternoon, he looked shifty. "Maybe you should check your security." "Why?" He leaned in. "Has your mini fridge been running a lot when you're not home?" That was all I needed. I ordered a security system, that night motion detectors, real-time alerts, the works, and installed them discreetly. 2 nights later, while tending to patients, my phone buzzed nonstop. Pulling up the feed, I almost dropped it. There was Gloria, punching in a code on my garage keypad, a code I'd never shared with anyone, and behind her, a parade of women bearing wine bottles, snacks, and folding chairs. They set up an entire wine and cheese party in my garage. They moved my things, turned on the TV, and acted like it was their private lounge. Gloria's voice cut through the feed. "Don't worry about Marcus. He's some kind of night janitor at the hospital. He's never home." Janitor? I have a master's degree in nursing. Later, I caught her telling someone, "People like him don't appreciate nice things. People like him." My blood boiled. I documented everything, dates, times, footage, and their ugly commentary. But instead of calling the police immediately, I waited. I wanted the satisfaction of catching them in person. I had 2 secret weapons, Titan and Atlas, my brother's Rottweilers. Marcus Jr., my older brother, was deployed overseas with the Marines, and I'd been looking after his K-9 trained giants. Each weighed around 120 pounds, all muscle and intimidation. Nobody in the neighborhood knew I had them. I walked them early mornings or late nights, avoiding attention. Knowing Gloria's gatherings usually happened on Thursdays around 9 p.m., I scheduled a day off. That evening, I made a show of leaving for work in my scrubs, circled around to park at Ethan's house, then snuck back home with Titan and Atlas. At 8:54 p.m., my phone buzzed. Gloria, dressed in a purple tracksuit, was punching in the code again, leading her wine brigade into my garage. At 9:30 p.m., I made my move, wearing jeans and a sleeveless shirt to showcase my tattoos. I leashed Titan and Atlas and quietly approached. I could hear Gloria bragging. I told him basketball hoops weren't allowed. These people never read the rules. I pressed the garage button. As the door rumbled open, silence fell. 12 frozen faces stared at me, wine glasses half raised. "Good evening, neighbors," I said, voice calm and pleasant. "Enjoying the party?" Gloria choked on her wine. "Marcus, you're supposed to be at work. Funny thing about jobs, Gloria. Sometimes we get days off." A man I didn't recognize began rising from his seat. Titan and Atlas let out a synchronized low growl, sound like distant thunder. The man sat back down immediately. "Dogs aren't permitted," Gloria squawked, pointing. "Actually, Section 8, Paragraph 3 of the bylaws permits pets with board approval," I replied, showing the email from the HOA secretary, Mrs. Harriet McCall. "Dangerous breeds require certification, which I have right here." Gloria opened and closed her mouth like a goldfish. "Also," I added, breaking and entering is frowned upon. A heavy-set man attempted diplomacy. "Gloria told us you gave permission." "Really? Gloria, care to explain how you obtained my garage code?" Gloria turned crimson. "The previous owner let us use it for meetings. When you didn't respond to my emails, I assumed." "I never got any emails, and no response isn't consent." Everyone fidgeted. One woman quietly packed her purse. "Nobody leaves," I said, signaling Titan and Atlas to sit. They obediently planted themselves like living statues, watching everyone carefully. "Here's what will happen," I said. "You all pack up your things and leave. Gloria, you and I will discuss the law afterward." In her panic, Gloria tripped over a purse, spilling wine all over her lavender tracksuit. "My Armani," she wailed. "That's the least of your worries," I said, waving my phone. "Footage has already been sent to the police." The room exploded in chaos. People scrambled, tripping over themselves to flee. Gloria remained seated, wine-soaked and stunned. "You can't be serious," she hissed. "Trespassing is very serious, Gloria, and so is unauthorized use of private property." The next day, I filed formal complaints with the HOA and the local police. The police issued Gloria a warning. The HOA board, however, called an emergency meeting. Within a week, Gloria was suspended pending investigation. Turns out, she had lied about official meetings, bullied multiple residents, and generally abused her power. Numerous neighbors apologized, revealing they'd trusted her claims reluctantly. Mr. Carter across the street disclosed that Gloria had done similar things to the previous owner, manipulating and intimidating him. A month later, the HOA board permanently removed Gloria from office. They elected Zoe Brooks as the new president, who immediately vowed to reform the HOA into something less oppressive and more inclusive. Gloria, unable to stomach the public humiliation, listed her house for sale. It sold 2 months later. On moving day, I was watering my lawn as Gloria shuffled shamefully to her car, head down. "Bye, Gloria," I called cheerfully. "Hope your next neighborhood loves unauthorized wine parties." She slammed the car door without a word. That evening, the community threw a real block party to celebrate both her departure and my first year in the neighborhood. Titan and Atlas became the heroes of the night, adored by kids and adults alike. Later, Mrs. McCall approached me with a grin. "No hard feelings, Marcus. Some folks just can't handle change." "No hard feelings," I agreed. "Well, maybe a few." She chuckled. "Gloria's old house? Sold to a lovely Filipino family. 3 teenagers. They have a garage band." I nearly choked on my lemonade laughing. The next morning, I finally began converting the garage into my dream gym and gaming den. No more wine party sinless I'm hosting. And Titan and Atlas? They got prime cuts of steak that night, worthy of the best security system a man could ask for.